IBM isn't really too prominent today, but back in the 80s, man, IBM was everything. IBM didn't necessarily invent the home computer. That prize goes to MITS with the Altair 8800 in 1975, but they sure as hell paved the road that the Altair first walked on. IBM released the 5150 in 1981, which was one of the biggest kickoffs to the home computer market. The 5150 came with a particular keyboard that I've covered before, but we're here today to talk about its popular little brother, the forever coveted Model M. Everyone loves this thing. You're probably sitting at home wanting it right now, and I can completely understand why. The Model M carries a pedigree that I don't really think any other vintage keyboard can match. Everyone's done a Model M video already, so I'm going to give you the short version of the story. In 1983, a man named Edwin T. Coleman III designed and invented the buckling spring switch, which was then patented by IBM for use in their Model M keyboards. The Model M works in mostly the same way as the Model F. When you push a keycap down, you force the spring down until it buckles. The spring is connected to a rocker switch that is forced down onto the contact below it. The Model F used capacitive contacts, which technically makes it a mechanical keyboard. I brought that up because the Model M is in fact not mechanical. The Model M uses a plastic membrane layer instead of capacitive contacts, which means that it's a membrane keyboard. I know, membrane bad, return to mechanical, whatever, but a lot of membrane boards are actually awesome. The ones that are bad are these ones. You're thinking of these pieces of shit right here. These are rubber domes, and these are just kill them with fire. There were many variations of the Model M. Big ones, normal ones, space-saver ones, track point ones, and even dedicated numpad ones. The Model M was and still is a simple mechanical system that can be adapted to almost any form factor. Now, usually that means make it smaller, but what if you wanted to make it even bigger? As you can see, this thing is massive. It takes up way too much space on my desk. That's mostly due in part to the fact that IBM shoved 2 function rows up here. You thought F12 was enough, buckaroo? Nah, we're going to F24. This thing has been named the Battleship or the Battlecruiser for that reason, but its more officialer sounding name is the IBM 122 key Model M. It's as big as a battleship. Cheers to the 4 people who even know what movie that comes from. There were 4 different types of Battleship Model M's, all of which use the ISO layout. The ISO layout is easily identified by the fact that there is an L-shaped enter key right here, and these are most commonly used in the UK and in Europe. This chunky one in particular is a Type 3, which is mostly distinguishable by the RJ45 connector here. This thing was used to hook into IBM info window terminals. You just plop this down, you'd plug it right in, and off you go. Nowadays, we don't use RJ45 as a standard anymore. I'm gonna text the internet for input devices anyway. This actually isn't my first Model M. I got this guy, hold on. I got this slightly less massive monster a long time ago. But coincidentally, it also uses RJ45 as well, which means I needed this little adapter, and all you do is you just take your cable and hook it up, and you could take that and then you can run it to whatever computer, could take an input device. Now, I would be doing that if the cable was actually hooked up. Honestly, don't even really want to use this cable. It's just mangy. I don't like this. Yeah, you might have already noticed that there is a thin black cable coming out of the back of the unit, and that is because this has actually been modded. Yeah, this entire thing has actually been modded with a microcontroller that accepts a micro USB cable. You just take the micro USB end, plug it into the microcontroller, and then you just run the cable out the back, and then you have an old keyboard from the 80s running on USB 2. It's the best. And the best part is that it also doesn't restrict you from going back into the keyboard and hooking the old cable back up because the 5-pin hookup is still there. I wouldn't even really use this one anyway. I just scalped the cable from the other Model M. The Type 3 Battleship also lacks lock lights up at the top here. Now normally, because it lacks the lock lights, it would have a blanking plate in here. You can actually see what I'm talking about right here. That's the blanking plate. The lock lights would go here. Scroll, numlock, whatever the other one is, As you can see, this guy doesn't have any of that stuff. And according to a website called sharktastica.co.uk, link in the description, they apparently state that this might point to this being an early model UK manufactured Model M. However, if we flip it over to the back, we can see on the sticker that it was actually manufactured by Lexmark as well. So I have no idea. If anybody's got any information, leave a comment down below. I don't know how to read these things, so somebody else might. I just think it's cool. When I got my hands on it, it was a little bit grubby. According to the seller on eBay, it was used in an upscale textile factory. Not sure I'd trust that no lint thing there if it was used in a textile factory. No matter how clean people say these things are, they're still stupid dirty, but thankfully this one wasn't smoked around. I took the keycaps off the unit and I threw them in a bowl of soapy water to get scrubbed and soaked.
Oh, it's turning gray. That's fucking nasty.
I took the board outside and I blew it off with the compressed air gun, and that was just disgusting. After getting everything assembled back, I scrubbed the life out of the top case with a microfiber cloth and some alcohol to get rid of the dirt spots. After all that, I think this thing looks pretty good. Thank you guys so much for stopping by to take a look at this piece of keyboarding and computing history with me. I appreciate your eyes on my work. Remember to subscribe to stay posted so you know when I've posted, and I'll let the sound test play you guys out. I'll see you around, and take care.